Om Namah Shivaya. We are going to celebrate Shivaratri by between 8th and 9th. It's starting at around 9 o'clock in the night on 8th and going up till 9th evening. So Shivaratri is very auspicious day for all the Hindus. And on this day of Shivaratri, we chant Shiva, Shiva's name. Om Namah Shivaya is called Shiva Panchakshari. There are 5 sounds. Om Namah Shivaya. There are 5 syllables basically. That is why it is called Panchakshari. Pancha means 5 in Sanskrit. Akshara means letters or sounds basically. Because in our Indian language, every letter carries one sound. But that's not the same in English. English has only 26 alphabet, but it has got more than 50 sounds. So for us, Akshara means letter, and one letter has a complete sound. There are no half sounds in our languages, in Indian languages specifically. So Shiva Panchakshari has 5 letters or 5 sounds, syllables, which is called Om Namah Shivaya. And this is the most powerful mantra. We have Ashtakshari, which is Om Namo Narayanaya, and Panchakshari, which is Om Namah Shivaya. These 2 mantras do not require Upadesha. Upadesha means it has to come through a guru. So these 2 mantras need not be given. No Upadesha is required. You can just keep chanting them. And on Shivaratri, exclusively we chant Shiva Panchakshari, that is Om Namah Shivaya. On the day of Shivaratri, why do we celebrate Shivaratri? Shivaratri is celebrated because the eternal power, the God manifested himself in the form of Linga. If you see a Shivalinga, it is round. It has no sides, it has no angles. Okay? And there is no beginning or end to it. So, the God, if you take God, God has no beginning and end. To interpret the God element, God himself manifested himself as Shivalinga. So that is the day when Shivalinga got manifested, and that's the reason we celebrate Mahashivratri. Actually, every month we get Shivaratri. It is called Masa Shivaratri, but this is called Mahashivratri. This comes only in Magha Masa, that is Magha Krishna Paksha Chaturdasi. That is just before Amavasya. So on this Shivaratri, let us try to understand the meaning of Lingashtakam. Lingashtakam is in 8 stanzas. Ashtaka means 8. And we are doing the stuti of Shivalinga in 8 stanzas. So we call it as Linga Ashtakam. Linga Ashtakam. We have many Ashtakas. This number 8 is a very auspicious number, which we would definitely discuss on a later date. But right now in Lingashtakam we have 8 stanzas. So let us try to understand the meaning of Lingashtakam in a very simple and crystal form. So let's start with the first stanza of Lingashtakam. So the first stanza goes like this. Brahma Murari Surarchita Lingam. Brahma, you know, the creator. Murari is Vishnu, the sustainer. Sura means Devatas. Surarchita Lingam. Archana means the performing puja. So the lingam to which the puja is performed by Brahma, Vishnu and other Devatas. Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam. Nirmala means it is very pure. Bhasita means shining. Shobhita means glorified. So Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam. If you look at a Shivalinga with no decoration. It's shining. It looks glorious. And you don't feel like taking your eyes off Shivalinga, even if it is not decorated with flowers and other things. So, Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam. It is always shining and looks very peaceful. When you look at Linga, you also feel the peace. It is very pure and shining all the time. Nirmala Bhasita Shobhita Lingam. Janmaja Dukkha Vinashana Lingam. All the pain and suffering that we brought with us with this birth. Okay? Janmaja Dukkha Vinashana Lingam. It destroys. If you worship the Linga form of the eternal power, all the pain and suffering that you brought with you in this birth will be destroyed. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Such eternal Linga, I would like to offer my salutations. So let's try to sum it up again. I salute to that eternal Shivalinga, which is always shining and pure, which is worshipped by Brahma, Vishnu and other devatas. And that Linga, by worshipping, is going to destroy all the pain and suffering that I have brought with me to this world in this Janma. I offer my salutations to such eternal Shivalinga. So let's go to the second stanza of Lingashtakam. Deva Muni Pravararchita Lingam Kama Dahana Karunakara Lingam Ravana Darpa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Deva Muni Pravararchita Lingam. Just by worshipping can burn all my desires, and that eternal Linga, which is very compassionate, and Ravana Darpa Vinashana Lingam, that eternal Linga which has suppressed the pride of Ravana, Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. I salute that eternal Linga. So let's come back again. Deva Muni Pravararchita Lingam. I salute and worship that Linga which is being worshipped by devatas and the great sages and the scholars. Kama Dahana Karunakara Lingam. That Linga which can destroy or burn my desires, which are disturbing me and destroying my peace. So that Linga helps me to burn all my desires. Karunakara Lingam, that Linga which is very compassionate. Ravana Darpa Vinashana Lingam, that eternal Linga which destroyed or suppressed the pride of Ravana. That eternal Linga which destroyed the pride of Ravana. Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. I salute, I bow down and salute to that eternal Linga and offer my prayers. So let us just summarize this. We are now worshipping the Linga which is being worshipped by devatas and the great sages and scholars. That Linga which burns the desires, unwanted desires of human beings. That Linga which is very compassionate. And that eternal Linga which destroyed the pride of Ravana. I salute thee and I prostrate in front of the Shivalinga. Let's go to the third one. Sarva Sugandha Sulepita Lingam Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam Siddha Surasura Vandita Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shiva Lingam. Sarva Sugandhi Sulepita Lingam. I salute and worship that linga which is smeared with most fragrant paste like vibhuti, the paste of vibhuti and the paste of sandalwood, okay, and then decorated with kumkum. So such eternal linga I worship. Buddhi Vivardhana Karana Lingam, that eternal linga which enhances my buddhi, which helps me develop my discrimination. Because today, most of the humans are suffering because their discriminating mind is non-functioning or not functioning properly. It is all, of course, the root causes are arshad gunas, that is jealousy, greed, etc. So today's living conditions have taken us to the worst situation where our buddhi is actually stopped working. So if I worship the Shivalinga, my buddhi will enhance. Siddha Surasura Vandita Lingam, that eternal linga which is worshipped by Siddhas, Suras and Asuras, Devatas and Rakshasas, Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. I salute and prostrate in front of that eternal Shivalinga. Kanaka Mahamani Bhushita Lingam, Phanipati Veshtita Shobhita Lingam, Daksha Suyagnya Vinashana Lingam, Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. Kanaka Mahamani Bhushita Lingam. Kanaka means gold. Mahamani means gems, the most precious gems. Kanaka Mahamani Bhushita Lingam. This eternal linga, which is adorned with golden ornaments, studded with most precious gems, and also Phanipati Veshtita Shobhita Lingam, which is also adorned by the Phaniraj, the snake of kings, that is Vasuki. It has been adorned by the king of the snakes. And Daksha Suyagnya Vinashana Lingam, that eternal linga which destroyed the Daksha Yajna. Tat Pranamami Sadashivalinga. I salute that eternal linga and prostrate in front of it. Now going to the fifth one. Kunkuma Chandana Lepita Lingam, Pankajahara Sushobhita Lingam, Sanchita Papa Vinashana Lingam, Tat Pranamami Sadashiva Lingam. That eternal linga which has been smeared by vibhuti, bhasma, and now it is being decorated by the sandalwood paste, kunkuma chandana. The sandalwood paste is decorated on the linga with kunkuma on top of it. Kunkuma chandana lepita lingam. That is also applied on the linga. Pankaja hara sushobhita lingam. Pankaja is lotus flowers, which is adorned by the garland made of lotuses, which is decorated with the garland made of lotuses. Pankaja hara sushobhita lingam. It is shining with the garland of lotuses. Sanchita Papa Vinashana Lingam. Sanchita Papa. We have three types of Papa. Sanchita and Prarabdha and Agami. We have three kinds of karmas. We have three types of karmas. Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, Agami. Sanchita karma is the sum of all the karmas, good and bad, acquired by us in the number of previous births. And Prarabdha karma is a handful of karma picked up from that huge collection of karmas and given to us for this birth. And Agami is the karma which we are collecting now for our future. Sanchita Papa Vinashana Lingam. Imagine if Sanchita Papa itself is destroyed, the whole bag of previous good and bad karmas is destroyed, then what next? There is no birth. We don't have to take birth. We don't have to get into the cycle of birth and death. The very purpose of birth is to burn our karmas, good and bad. So it's a mixture and a combination of happiness and pain, pleasure and pain. Sometimes it is more pain for few people and less pleasure. For some people it is more pleasure and less pain. And when people are in pleasure, they just forget. They are, by not valuing the pleasures that they are enjoying now because of their previous births, they become more arrogant and more egoistic and commit lot of sins knowingly, unknowingly, and they are laying a foundation for their future birth. So Sanchita karma, if you worship, or if we all worship the linga form of the eternal power, then our Sanchita karma itself gets burnt. Sanchita papa vinashana lingam tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. So I salute and prostrate in front of such eternal Shivalinga. Deva ganarchita sevita lingam bhavair bhakti birervacha lingam dinakara koti prabhakara lingam tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Deva ganarchita sevita lingam. There are several ganas, devatas. This eternal linga is worshipped by devatas and ganas, and it is this eternal linga is worshipped by devatas and ganas. Bhavair bhakti birervacha lingam, with true bhakti and bhava. What is required in divinity is bhakti and bhava. If we perform any puja without bhakti and bhava, then we are wasting our time, energy and money. So even if you can salute with bhakti and bhava, that is good enough for Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is very dayalu, is a very kind God. He can be very easily impressed. What he looks from us is bhakti and bhava. So all these devatas and ganas, they worship this Shivalinga with immense devotion and immense faith. Bhavair bhakti birervacha lingam dinakara koti prabhakara lingam. The shine of the eternal linga is million times more than the sun. So when million suns shine in the sky, what kind of brightness we experience, we would experience the same brightness in this eternal Shivalinga. Tat pranamami sada Shivalinga. So I salute and prostrate in front of such eternal Shivalinga. So the Shivalinga which I am worshipping is not an ordinary Shivalinga. That is what Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya has described in this Ashtakam. This is the composition of Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya. So we are not worshipping an ordinary stone. We are worshipping that eternal Shivalinga, which is omnipotent, omnipresent and omniscient, all pervading and all powerful. Let's go to the 7th stanza. Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam sarva samudbhava karana lingam ashtadaridra vinashana lingam tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam. This Shivalinga is surrounded by 8-petaled flowers, which is nothing but lotus, which is decorated with lotuses. Not only with a lotus garland, but worshipped with lotuses. Ashtadalo pariveshtita lingam. Pariveshtita is all around. Pariveshtita lingam sarva samudbhava karana lingam. This Shivalinga which is this eternal linga, is the cause of creation. And that eternal linga is surrounded by the 8 petaled flowers, which we call them as lotuses. Ashtadaridra Vinashana Lingam. There are 8 types of poverty. Ashtadaridra. Ashta means 8. Daridra is poverty. So Ashtadaridra Vinashana Lingam. 8 types of poverty gets destroyed by worshipping Shivalinga. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. I salute and prostrate in front of that eternal Shivalinga. I am so fortunate I am able to salute. Suraguru Suravara Pujita Lingam. Suraguru Suravara Pujita Lingam. Suravana Pushpa Sadarchita Lingam. Paramapadam Paramatmaka Lingam. Tat pranamami sada Shivalingam. Suraguru Suravara Pujita Lingam. Suraguru, that is the Guru of Devatas. And who is the Guru of Devatas? Brihaspati. So the Guru of Devatas, Suraguru, Suravara, and the best of Devatas. That eternal linga which is worshipped by the Guru of Devatas as well as the best Devatas. Suravana Pushpa Sadarchita Linga, which is always worshipped by the flowers of Suravana. That means the garden of Devatas, which is called Svarga. We call it as Svarga. So those flowers which are available in Svarga are used to worship this eternal linga. Suraguru, Suravana, Pujita Lingam, Suravana Pushpa Sadarchita Lingam. It is always worshipped with the flowers brought from Svarga. Paramapadam, Paramatmaka Lingam. That is the eternal thing that we all have to aspire for. That is the Paramapadam. That is where we all have to go back to. We have forgotten, having coming into this world, we are caught up in Maya, we are caught up in this magic world which is destroying our peace and happiness. And we have forgotten where we have come from and we don't even know where to go. But Jagadguru is directing us. Paramapadam Paramatmaka Lingam. That is the Paramapadam. That is where you have come from and that is where you have to go back to. And that is the ultimate thing of our life. That is the purpose of our life. We have taken several births as different living creatures, sometimes like animals, sometimes like insects, sometimes like whatnot. Mountains, rivers. We don't know what kind of births we have taken previously. And all that karma we have accumulated, which we called it as Sanchita karma, is accumulated in one huge bag. And this birth we have only taken one handful of. The Creator has given us only one handful of Sanchita karma, which we call it as Prarabdha karma, which we are actually undergoing. So this Prarabdha karma, with this Prarabdha karma, if we worship the linga form of the eternal force, then even that Sanchita karma gets burnt. When Sanchita karma gets burnt, there's no need for us to take a birth again. There is no balance, there's no bank balance. If there is any bank balance, if it is debit or credit, then we are responsible for it. But when your bank account is zero, there is nothing to enjoy or nothing to suffer. So when there is nothing to enjoy nor suffer, then there is no life. We get life only when we have a balance of suffering or enjoyment. Paramapadam Paramatmaka Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam. I salute and prostrate in front of that eternal linga. I am so fortunate for being able to salute such eternal linga, which is just not worshipped by me, but by great sages, by devatas, by munis, by rishis, and by the Creator Himself, by the Sustainer Himself. And I am so fortunate to salute to such eternal form. So I hope we have had some clarity on Lingashtakam. I'll just try to summarize each stanza in capsular form. I salute and prostrate in front of that eternal linga which is being worshipped by Brahma, Vishnu and many devatas, all the devatas, and which is always pure and shining all the time, and which removes me from all the pain and suffering that I brought with me in this Janma. That I salute that all-pervading, all-powerful Shivalinga, which is worshipped by the gods and the sages, and which burns all my desires, unwanted desires, which cause pain and unhappiness to me. It burns all unwanted desires, and then which is very compassionate, and that eternal linga which has destroyed the ego of Ravana. I salute that all-pervading, all-powerful, eternal Shivalinga, which is smeared with the most fragrant paste, and that eternal linga which enhances my buddhi, which improves my discrimination, and that linga which is worshipped by siddhas and devatas and saluted by them, I salute that eternal linga. I salute that all-powerful, all-pervading, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient Shivalinga, which represents this whole universe and the creation, which is being decorated by the golden ornaments and studded with the most precious gems, and which is also decorated with the Paniraja, the king of cobras, that is Vasuki, and that powerful Shivalinga which destroyed the Daksha Yajna. I salute that eternal Shivalinga which is decorated with the sandalwood paste and kumkum, and that Shivalinga which is adorned with the garland of lotuses, and that Shivalinga which burns all my sanchita karma, I prostrate in front of it. I salute that eternal Shivalinga which is worshipped by devatas and ganas with absolute devotion and faith, and which is the absolute devotion and faith, and which shines as bright as 1,000,000 suns. I salute that eternal Shivalinga. I salute that Shivalinga which is surrounded by lotuses, and which is the cause of this creation, which is the cause behind all creation. I prostrate and salute that Shivalinga which is surrounded by 8-petal lotuses, and which is the cause of all the creation, and that Shivalinga which destroys the 8 types of poverty, Ashtadaridra Vinashana Linga. I salute that eternal Shivalinga. I salute that eternal Shivalinga which is worshipped by the Suraguru, Brihaspati, the guru of devatas, and devatas themselves, that is being worshipped by the Suraguru and the devatas, and it is worshipped with the flowers collected from the garden which is there in the garden of devatas, which is called Swarga. Suravana Pushpa Sadarchitalinga, always worshipped by the flowers collected from the garden of Swarga. Paramapadam Paramatmakalingam, that is the Paramapadam. And that is the source from which we have been separated from, and that is the place where we all have to get back to. So Paramapadam Paramatmakalingam Tat Pranamami. I salute that Shivalinga, which will enhance my discriminating mind, make me realize the purpose of this birth, and show me my origin and take me back to my origin. That is the meaning of Lingashtakam. I hope I could help you understand this a little bit, and I'll try my best to give you better quality. And I wish to come forward. I wish to come in front of you with many such videos. If you like this video, kindly write your comments in the comment box. You can give me your suggestions. Help me give you better content to help me help you live a better life. My whole objective is to see everyone happy in this world. And I wish to do whatever best I can to make as many people in this world as happy. I wish to bring a smile on each and every one in and around me. Thank you very much for listening to me, and please share your comments and suggestions and advices. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya. I wish you all a very, very happy Shivaratri. Om Namah Shivaya.